you may feel like somebody has a better husband than you, or a better marriage, or a better family, or a better job. You know, those are elusive, and they're lies from the pit of hell. And if you can stop yourself at this moment and confess that, that what you have is what is good enough, and then start from there. I mean, it's not to say that we don't want to ask for more, for other things.
Quoting that Hebrews verse about Jesus, who had a choice. He could endure. He could focus on what he had to endure, which was guaranteed worse than anything we have to endure right now. And he made a decision to fix his eyes. He was able to endure the cross because of the joy before him. And so he saw something beyond the cross.
Right.
And he saw his future, which was a resurrected future. And so he had to make the decision to look beyond his present circumstances. And therefore he had joy. And so if Jesus could do that, you know, maybe the question is do we know what our future is? Do we know what's before us? And if we do, if we don't, then maybe we're struggling to have joy in the present.
It's also being filled with the Holy Spirit. So, you know, just to stop and ask the Lord to fill in all of those spaces and confess, you know, the undue stress that you're under, and give thanks to Him, and get some sleep. People need to get more sleep these days, and work less.
I don't even understand what you just said. It just seems like you just said something in a different language. So
just stop and concentrate on those hymns, and make them, you know, they're not just words, and they're not just Christmas carols. They are expressions of love to Jesus.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let's get to the Christmas story, because apparently Elizabeth and her cousin Mary, when they ran into each other, part of what happened with them included joy.
Oh yeah, actually, there's the Advent story. Let's start with baby John. Baby John the Baptist. What was he doing in the womb of his mother Elizabeth? He was just hanging out, growing, and all of a sudden he hears Mary comes along, pregnant Mary comes along. I'm going to read from Luke 1:39 through 45. At that time, Mary got ready and hurried to a town in the hill country of Judea, where she entered Zachariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. In a loud voice, she exclaimed, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child you will bear. But why am I so favored that the mother of my Lord should come to me? As soon as the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby in my womb leaped for joy. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her." And so maybe she's double checking. Maybe she just needed some encouragement. Maybe she just wanted to share this great news.
Probably needed someone to tell who might get it. Someone else who became pregnant in unusual circumstances.
Exactly. I know that when I was pregnant with our fourth child, so that would be Joseph, when he was probably 6 months along, and we went, the whole family went, and we went to the ultrasound appointment. And I think the doctor thought it was kind of unusual for me to bring these other children. So that would be 3 other children. And they were, you know, probably 3, 2, 1 or something like that. Maybe 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know. We started looking at the baby through the ultrasound. And you know how you have this picture on the screen, you can see the baby moving. And we could see immediately that the baby was asleep and practically not moving. And our kids were so disappointed because they wanted to see this baby. This was the first time they were seeing an ultrasound. This is the first time that they're seeing a picture of their younger brother And of course, we didn't know it was a boy or girl at that time, but we were never told. We asked never to be told. We liked being surprised at the end. But I think it was Katie, little Katie, started saying, "Baby, wake up! We want to see you. We want to see you move around, and we want to hear you dance." And all of a sudden, all the kids made a ruckus. Katie, Nick, Dietrich, and we're all like, "Wake up, baby, wake up!" And all of a sudden, the babies just starts going like this, and you can see it on the ultrasound, and I can feel it in my womb. You're just moving around, just like going crazy. And then they stopped, and when they stopped, he stopped. So let me tell you, babies in the womb can hear. They can hear what's going on the outside.
Yeah, it tells us somewhere else, I think in this Luke account, that John himself was filled with the Spirit. And so mom and baby, it's interesting that it happens to both of them. Like they're almost indiscriminate at that point. And he's filled with this, they're both filled with the Spirit. And I wonder what that was like. And I think that's maybe the first New Testament example of anybody being filled with the Holy Spirit. What was it like when you were filled with the Holy Spirit?
Oh gosh, I almost could not talk about it I felt I did feel this radiance coming out, and it was almost like this joke that I had with the Lord that I couldn't help but keep smiling about. And I was at church, and I spoke in tongues and just different things that God has gifts for me. And you and I actually started dating
I think the day
within the
after.
week. Yeah.
Whenever
We went on our first date. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I waited till the end of our date to see if you understood what I was talking about. Because if you didn't, man, I have to cross you off the list.